Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. Today's episode is about the great man Elon Musk because the haters are out at the moment. They're coming after him. The knives are drawn. And you know what I thought? Let's do a bit of an appreciation episode for Elon Musk at this very difficult time. I have a bad feeling that he's in a lot of trouble with the SEC in the future. But you know what? Inevitably, this is going to happen when you've got someone who is as big a free thinker as Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a maverick, yeah? What is a maverick? An unorthodox or independently minded person. And it's people like Elon Musk that have transformed the world into what it is today. This beautiful place where you can buy anything you want on the internet, where you can travel at 600 miles per hour in an airplane, where you can get on a train and go to any country in the world almost. It's a beautiful, the world as it is at present is a beautiful, beautiful place. And Elon Musk is a legacy industry killer. Yeah? He doesn't care about the legacy companies. He doesn't care about maintaining the status quo. All he cares about is making the world a better, more even place for everyone involved. A more sustainable place. Yeah? And throughout history, we've had many, many, many people transform this great planet of ours. I recently, I didn't reread all of the book, but I read some parts of this book that is a really great book if you've not already got it. Ashley Vance, you can pick this up from Amazon for about £5, but it just gives a real insight into Elon Musk, his life, how he kind of went from the disappointment of PayPal, where he was doing a good job, but unfortunately got forced out due to some other very strong, independently minded people at PayPal. And he went on there and he really kind of like opened his mind to new ideas, formed Tesla and SpaceX, and the rest is history. But we've been blessed with so many of these amazing people who have these mavericks of industry that have transformed the world. And just a few examples. When I was at university, my kind of biggest inspiration was James Dyson. If you've heard of Dyson vacuum cleaners, they've obviously invented so many other things as well. But James Dyson, how he went from some kind of like a failed inventor to one of the most inspirational engineers of all time. For me, he's still definitely one of my role models. Steve Jobs, obviously, Apple computers. Nikola Tesla was just an absolute ideas machine. Henry Ford, mass production. He basically invented the way we mass produce cars and other things as well, other industrial items. Satoshi Nakamoto, is he a person? Is he a group of people? They invented Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Another one of my most respected people in industry is a bloke called Chris Curry. You probably, if you're not from the UK, you probably will never have heard him, but you may never have heard of this company either, Acorn Computers. Acorn was quite a reasonably sized computer company back in the 80s and early 90s, and they really kind of dominated the PC or personal computer space here in the UK. And also they formed a little company you may have heard of called ARM. ARM make microprocessors, and although Acorn eventually kind of faded away, what Chris Curry and his team did there to invent the ARM microprocessor has changed the world forever today. You know, ARM processors are in most tablets, they're in most smartphones, they're in all the smart devices. So all these people, through their independent thinking and through their ingenuity, they have managed to change the world. And Elon Musk is almost as good as all those people combined. He really is just the most eccentric, maverick, free-thinking person the world has ever seen. And his success at PayPal, Tesla, and SpaceX, you can't eliminate that from history. It's going to be with us forever. You know, many books will be written about Elon Musk and what he's achieved over the next 10 to 20 years. And he's a man under incredible pressure at the moment. With everything that's going on, quarantine, you know, Tesla is feeling the pressure. So is SpaceX to an extent, and I think it's important that at some point Elon Musk says, I can't do 100 things at once. I can't run 4 companies at the same time. I need to hand over a lot of the power at Tesla and SpaceX to other people. And there's already someone at SpaceX that potentially could take over. But at Tesla, there's obviously other people that potentially will be stepping up over the next 2 to 3 years. And it's important that the hard work's really been done at Tesla, and he just needs to hand over most of the financial control of the company to someone else and then focus on other companies. And one of those other companies is obviously the Boeing Company. The Boeing Company has a lot of potential. The Boeing Company and Tesla are intrinsically linked. But if Elon Musk can hand over more control at Tesla and SpaceX to other people, he can then spend more time focusing on Starlink. Yes, Starlink should be looked at as a separate company. If they can spread internet adoption to Africa and South America and get internet usage in those continents up above 50% or well above 50%, then that will have been a huge success. The Boeing Company can obviously expand exponentially in the USA in terms of opening new transport systems, and Neuralink as well. Neuralink is a company with so much potential, probably one of Elon's, probably the most craziest idea Elon Musk has ever had. Potentially could be the biggest company on the planet. If everyone needs that hardware installed in the bodies, then potentially it could be the biggest company on the planet. But he needs to focus more time on those 3 companies and take time away from Tesla and SpaceX. At this very moment in time, Elon Musk is getting a lot of criticism. He said one very specific thing that I think potentially could have large legal consequences. Anything that involves saying that Tesla stock is undervalued is potentially breaking the guidelines that the SEC have set out. And I think he should have chosen his words for that tweet a bit more carefully, in my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, I think that he would probably walk away with another slap on the wrist, because it's not some kind of insane tweet trying to control the price of Tesla shares. I think it's just a case of, in his opinion, he thinks it's overvalued. I don't think there's anything behind the scenes where he's trying to drive down the price of Tesla stock. I don't believe that, but he really shouldn't have said that. He really should have thought about what he was saying before he tweeted that, because there's going to be legal consequences for him. But when we think about the Tesla robo-taxi network and we think about achieving level 4 autonomous driving capabilities in all Teslas, what that leads to is a world where a large proportion of people are using Tesla's electric vehicles to get around from point A to point B. And people are making money from their Teslas, so people are therefore investing in more cars. So you could theoretically end up in a world where lots of people own lots of cars and a very large proportion of people don't own a car because they don't need it. So you've got all these small businesses running robo-taxi fleets. But that in itself creates quite a large problem. If you have lots and lots of cars on the road, congestion's only going to get worse. Even if we reduce the number of cars on the road by 20 to 30%, they're still going to be active at those peak hours during rush hours. and you're going to end up with lots and lots of congestion. And I think Elon Musk has looked at this and he's thought about it, and he's thought, in creating this robo-taxi network, in creating cars that can drive themselves, this creates another problem or exacerbates the congestion issues in and around US cities, and he needs a solution for that problem. And the obvious solution is you create more hyper-fast links from the suburbs to the cities, and you increase the speed of vehicles and you increase the density of the actual systems for moving people between point A and point B, and that is the Boring Company tunnel network. If you have lots and lots and lots of tunnels, and these vehicles are essentially uncrashable because they are level 4, maybe even level 5 autonomous, you can essentially eliminate the vast majority of congestion in the vast majority of cities in the USA. I'm not saying it's the perfect solution for every US city, but it's definitely the best solution for 95% of the USA. And it's that kind of joined up thinking which really kind of excites me about Elon Musk, because he's always thinking 10 to 15 years into the future, if not 20 years into the future, and he's thinking, well, if Tesla does this, then this leads to this, and that's a problem, so to eliminate that problem, we need to do this. The current situation with roads in the USA and in Europe is not great. I mean, why do we need the roads to be controlled by the government? I just think that in itself is just a strange kind of situation. Why are we not giving that to the private sector and having competition whereby you can have toll roads on the surface, you can have toll tunnels, you could have more links with VTOL jets. So VTOL jets are not going to take over a large proportion of the market, but they could certainly become 10 to 15% of all traveling in big cities like Los Angeles and New York. But Elon Musk doesn't just have ideas based on something something someone was telling him yesterday. He comes up with these ideas. They are joined up to other ideas. It's like a spider's web of ideas, as it were. And the Boring Company tunnel network is that. It is a link to Tesla. Tesla and the Boring Company are essentially the same in that they need each other. They are intrinsically linked. Once the Tesla company has excellent profits and is selling 30, 40, 50% more vehicles every year, and it's setting up multiple gigafactories, it then needs to focus on how do we make our vehicles more efficient, how do we make our vehicles get from point A to point B quicker, and that involves building serious numbers of tunnels. They can loan that money to the Boring Company at a 4% interest rate. The Boring Company can then charge people per mile for using its tunnels, or run its own fleet of autonomous electric vehicles. Either doesn't really matter which one they use, just as long as they can build to a very large scale. It will be a huge money earner. Anyone that goes out and says the Boring Company can't do this, the Boring Company can't do that, SpaceX can't do this, SpaceX can't do that, Tesla can't do this. These are the same people 5 years ago that said that SpaceX and Tesla were going to go bankrupt. Yeah? These are not smart people. They're just people that they want to create a talking point. They actually, most of these people actually know that they're wrong, but they will just say things anyway. Because Elon Musk is a born winner. He's always winning. He wins at everything he does. So if you are coming up against Elon Musk saying he can't do something, you're basically just fighting the tides. You're not going to win. So, what things do I really, really like about Elon Musk in terms of what he does, how he operates, how he builds a business? First of all, and the most important one, he is an absolute idea machine. So I think the term that I like to use is he is a visionary. Now, I'm not saying that all these ideas come from Elon, but a lot of these ideas, he kind of he evolves them. He takes an idea, he works on it, makes it better, works on it, makes it better, and then he evolves it into something that's absolutely perfect, that's a big money-making opportunity. Like this, for example, Cybertruck. Totally out of the box thinking, how they're going to build that particular truck, how they're going to drive costs down for that truck, how they're going to increase the range of that truck. Just no one else would have thought of that other than Elon Musk and his team. Because the shape of that truck, the way it's going to be built, is just absolutely out. It's just no one really has thought about that for a car for a very long time, because a lot of people that did think about it thought it was impossible to build that kind of thing in a way that would be financially viable. So having that kind of exoskeleton just seemed like a crazy idea that might work on paper but wouldn't actually be feasible to build. And Elon Musk has delivered that. His ability to go from the Roadster to the Model S to the Model X to the Model 3 to the Model Y. That again is a great example of him developing ideas, improving the overall product. So many ideas coming out. The idea of rockets landing themselves and reusing them, that was looked upon as a crazy idea, an absolutely insane idea. There were people at NASA who were laughing at Elon Musk, telling him he was crazy, and they hope people actually wished that he would fail. They said, we'll be really happy when you fail. But those people have suddenly gone very quiet because they realised that their whole their ideas of how to get things into space were frankly stupid, and that SpaceX can undercut them by about 90% in terms of launching a satellite into space. So they lost, Elon Musk won. Another thing that I like about Elon Musk is that he speaks very, very freely. Now, if you've been following Elon Musk on Twitter for the last 6 or 7 years, you realise that he's kind of gone from more of a centralist. He's slightly gone, I'd say, a little bit to the right now. So I wouldn't say he's a right winger, but his ideas are coming a bit more across as more kind of right of centre, as it were. So obviously he's been tweeting about, America. We want our freedom. We want to be able to go out and live our lives. We have the Constitution. Why are we not following the Constitution now? There's got to be freedom for all Americans, and I can certainly look at that and agree with some aspects of it. Obviously, we need to protect the population, but you can't forcefully lock people up in their homes for 6 to 12 months. That is insane, and at that point, people should say you're infringing my constitutional rights. And Elon Musk speaks very freely about things like that, and he's not afraid of people attacking him, and that's good. Even if the ideas are not my personal opinions, I think that it's good that he can speak out and be honest about what he feels, rather than people like Tim Cook at Apple. They are essentially robots. They have to check everything with other people before they say it, and what they do say is very kind of monotone. So that's another thing I like about Elon. Another thing is his attitude towards vertical integration. So, Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company are fully focused on vertical integration. You build everything, you control everything, everything from how this is designed for this particular aspect of the machine to how we implement this particular piece of technology is controlled by the company itself. And the fact that a lot of American and European companies have moved away from vertical integration has been an incredibly stupid bit of planning, because in a way they're going to have to turn around and go back to vertical integration over the next decade or so, having control over everything gives you the ability to make money at every point of the process. If you are just subcontracting everything out to other people, you're essentially giving cuts of your profit to various middlemen along the way. The more people in the process, the less money you're going to make at the end of the day. So vertical integration is the way forward. Elon Musk is totally focused on vertical integration, especially at Tesla. Literally everything Tesla makes for that vehicle is going to be built via themselves, especially the battery pack, which is the most costly element of the car. It's going to be that they basically manufacture every single aspect, including possibly even mining the elements that go into the battery, which is the perfect form of vertical integration. Another great thing about Elon Musk is that he can foresee how technology will evolve decades into the future. Being able to see how things are going to change from a technology point of view allows you to get ahead of the curve, get ahead of other companies, invest where you need to, and then reap rewards in the future. So another great example of that is the robo-taxi service. When Tesla perfects that, they are probably going to have at least 70 to 80% of the US market controlled. So they are literally going to be a monopoly in the USA if things keep going the way they're going, because companies like Waymo are not going to be able to compete, to be frank with you. Another thing that I like about Elon Musk is that he never ever gives up. He really is a Trojan. He works those 16-hour days when he needs to. He works Saturdays, he works Sundays, he takes calls, 24 hours of the day if necessary. He really is the hardest worker. He's not afraid to fail either. He just works harder up until the point when he can't continue, and that's never really happened with Elon Musk. He's always kind of soldiered on and worked his way through problems, and that's why he's been so successful. Another great thing about Elon Musk is he's kind of like, in a way, he's a bit of a comedian with the things that he says on Twitter, and also he goes after the fudsters, and he's not afraid to speak his mind either, to call people out. When he when he sent out those that box of shorts to that guy that was short Tesla, I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and that's the kind of trolling that we need from a business leader, someone who's going to kind of see the funny side of everything, and also give it to the people that are giving him a bit of FUD, and that's what we love, because there's so many people out there that hate Elon Musk. They want him to fail, and really what they need to do, those people, is they need to look at their own lives and find out why they failed in their own lives, rather than kicking off about Elon Musk. And a lot of people that have lost millions and millions of pounds because they betted against Elon Musk, or invested in alternate companies that they thought were going to beat Musk. And in reality, it's a tough ask to find someone that can compete with Elon Musk. There are very, very few people. People like Elon Musk only come around every 20 to 40 years. There's not really a great supply of these kind of titans of industry, as it were. And those are the kind of main reasons why I like Elon Musk. And he really is in a hard place at the moment. He said something on Twitter he shouldn't have said. Appreciate that. You should not be tweeting about the stock. Never ever tweet about the stock if you think it's too high, too low, it's the right price. Never ever mention the price of the stock. The best thing to do is just not to talk about the stock, because as soon as you do, the SEC are going to come in and they're going to attack you, and they're going to try and sue you, and then you're going to get other people who hold stock in Tesla who have got very, very angry, who are just there to make money rather than believe in Tesla. They're going to try and sue you. It was kind of a bit of a bonehead move from Elon, but for every 1,000 decisions that Elon makes, 998 of them are really good decisions, and 2 of them are a bit crazy and don't really make any sense. So we don't really mind that kind of thing. Okay, and just to kind of summarize this video, it's been a bit of a rant, this video, but you know what? I think Elon Musk deserves a bit of love at the moment. I think he's going to have a really hard week next week, but hey. What are my final thoughts? If you fight Elon Musk, especially if your business is fighting Elon Musk or you're shorting Elon Musk will win and you will lose. If you think that the Boring Company is just going to suddenly disappear one day and that the technology is going to fail, you really have not followed history and what Elon Musk has done over the last 20 years. You really don't have a clue about how Elon Musk operates. You don't have a clue about who the sort of people are that work with Elon and how Elon Musk plans his business, because Elon Musk is the champ. He's going to win. He's going to win at the end of the day. He's going to absolutely dominate the various industries that he operates in. He's going to dominate the satellite game. He's going to dominate with Neuralink in terms of that brain interface. He's going to dominate with tunneling. He's going to dominate with solar roofs. He's going to dominate with electric cars. He's going to dominate with ride sharing. He's going to dominate with rockets. He's probably end up going to dominating the actual planet of Mars if he does eventually get round to building a colony there. It will literally be the Elon Musk colony. So that is my summary. If you want to bet against Elon Musk, go out there and short the stock. If you think you've got the balls for it, short the stock. And when you go bankrupt, you've got Elon Musk to thank for that. Okay, guys, so I think that's the summary of this video. Thank you for everyone who's been watching. And remember, don't be boring. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all the Patreons that support me. Thank you for everyone who's been emailing me over the last week or so. Don't worry. We're going to win. Don't worry about the fudsters talking a lot of crap. At the end of the day, we'll be the ones that are victorious. If they think they're going to win, then, put your money where your mouth is. But if you've got no money because you're a bloody peasant, then, it's on you. And there's a reason why you're a peasant. All right, then. Take care. Stay safe. Wash your hands. See you later, guys. Goodbye.